Welcome to the channel for first time viewers. Welcome back for my existing subscribers. Today we're just going to talk freely about Black Ops Cold War, give you my feels on the multiplayer. I started the campaign, got about 2.5, 3 hours in. I got to go back and finish it. It was actually pretty fun, right? So that's my quick synopsis of the campaign. Let's talk about the multiplayer though. I've had a love-hate relationship with the multiplayer of this game since I started playing it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I feel like they went to another level of statistic tracking in this game, and it's kind of messing up the experience. SBMM is part of the negative factors as well. I can literally look at my previous games, and it looks like it just looks like a spiky bar graph, right? So I have 1 KD, 1 KD, or 1.1 or 0.9, anywhere around that area, right? Then like 2-3 games will go by of the same thing, and then I'll have a KD of like 2.8 or 3, and then I have 2 games of that, and then it goes back to just like 2 or 3. It's just the same flow every time. I kind of want it back to where it used to be, where the lobbies didn't get broken up automatically, and you could just randomly join a game and have some fun. So part of I'm just facing good people, I suppose. I mean, I have like a 1.4 KD, so that's nothing amazing. But if you watch a lot of these other videos and some of the pros that are talking about the game, it's looking like a 2 KD is like godly. So, and I mean, I usually finish the year. I start the year usually around a 1.2, 1.3, and finish the year about a 1.7, 1.8. That's traditionally my trajectory in Call of Duty. So, figure things out. Then I learn my play style, figure out what's gonna work for me, and I kind of just roll out. But this game, man, is just tough. I felt like there's a lot of cheesy gunfights. The velocity statistic is kind of silly. I feel like if you don't have something with plus 100% velocity, then you run into a lot of different issues where the gunfights feel very inconsistent, even if you have a decent rate of fire weapon. So I don't really like that. I feel like the old days, you just play Call of Duty and you're all set. But now it's like you have to do this math problem to play Call of Duty, and it's just like, yo, like, I just want to put a gun. And plus, I don't really like a lot of the guns. The Galil looks the nicest to me. I don't like what they did with the M4 or the Commando. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's the iron sights that just, I don't know. I used to use the Commando all the time in Black Ops 1, and I love that gun. It was the gun I had used the most. But this one, it just feels different, and it could be the same. Maybe my memory and the time was just so different back then. But the MP5 has ruled the roost. Like every time you come across the MP5, up until this nerf, you just lost. If it was close or medium range, the only time you would beat an MP5 is if they didn't have the best aim and they were far. But if it was close and medium, you just lost by default, unless you had MP5 yourself. So that became the meta for a little bit. Now I've been running into a lot of shotguns. I got killed from pretty much MP5 range with a shotgun today, and I was kind of taken back. I was like, okay, well, I guess there's a certain amount of attachments you can put on this thing that'll give it that much more range to just hit somebody with one blast and kill them. But overall, man, my experience up until now has not been the best. There's some days that I have a little bit of fun with it, and there's other days where I hop on and I'll literally play a game and hop off. Things I think they need to do better is just more consistent gunfights. Add some better iron sight weapons. I feel like the MP5 has decent iron sights, and really everything has these like weird, like, I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's just, I don't like it. It's the best way I can explain. I just don't like it. It's a weird experience overall, man. There's a lot of things I wish they would change. Consistent gunfights is a big one. Better guns or better iron sights would be another one. Maybe dumb down the stats a little bit, as far as, you know, like, I don't need to do this whole math problem, like this plus this minus that plus this. And I know, I get that in other games this has always been the same, but I feel like now, in order to be competitive or to even have a chance, because in tandem with skill-based matchmaking, I gotta go put this. If I don't have a barrel that has additional velocity, then people just slide around on the maps and it's hard to hit them. You know, so like, you have that. You have better players. There's just too many variables now, and it's just becoming tedious to play this game. And on top of that, there's really none of the maps that stand out to make it like fun. I played Nuketown. That's a really good looking map. It kind of reminds me of that Black Ops 3 DLC, the one that came from Mad Max. So it kind of reminds me of that one. I can't even remember the name of the map because I didn't even get to play it that long. But that was one of my favorite Black Ops 3 maps as far as the way it looked, the way it played. And this Nuketown, even though it's still Nuketown, the aesthetics of it is more or less along the lines of that. So I kind of like it. The gameplay that I have is actually on the new Nuketown. It was, I believe it was my first game on Nuketown after the update. Yeah, it was my first game on Nuketown. I ended up like 57 and I think 14 on hardpoint, which is pretty good for me. Usually have, you know, I usually play TDM, so I get like 25, 30 kills is a good game. And depending on like what type of lobby I'm in, I'm either gonna go like 30 and like 10, or I'm gonna go like 30 and 25. So it's just it's I don't know, it's a weird scenario, man. And maybe it's just me, because I know people like Nero Cinema, they like this game and they did not like Modern Warfare, but to me Modern Warfare was a better shooter. Yeah, just overall the gunplay felt a lot more grounded. And when I switched to Modern Warfare a couple days ago, I just went to play a couple games of TDM. Like, it felt really good. Like, it's still really sharp, really good gunplay, and they just did a really good job. They nailed it. And in this game, it's just, it feels really sloppy. And in a shooting game, when the shooting and the mechanics of the shooting feel sloppy, it's kind of like, okay, well, I mean, I didn't buy this game to like run and slide on the ground, so it's kind of like, what's the point here? But let me know if you're having fun with this game. I just kind of wanted to get a little bit off my chest, talk to y'all a little bit about it, see where everybody else is at, because I feel like between Gungo Pew Pew and a couple of my buddies, one friend of mine won't even, I don't even think he's launched the game yet. So he's like, he's at the point where he's like, he's just heard so many bad things, and he's like, I don't know if I even want to try it. So he just had wasted $60, played the beta, very little, and yeah, I just kind of want to see where everybody else is at. Like, do y'all like this game? Do y'all hate this game? I don't know, because I don't know, man. I'm leaning more towards where I don't like it. There's a lot of things in the game that I for sure don't like. Like, I for sure don't like how it feels like very slip and slidey. I for sure don't like the iron sights on a lot of the guns. I for sure don't like that. If somebody's using an MP5, which they pretty much fixed, it's okay to lose to MP5 if they're like within close range, or if they beam you from medium range, right? But it was very consistent. Like, if we were both in open field and I was like hitting you and you were hitting me and you had an MP5, you would win the gunfight regardless. And it was just crazy. Like, I'm using an AR with like long barrel, and it's just like, how do you still win? So they kind of fixed that balance issue. I will also say that since this Nuketown update, the game feels a little bit better, but not really to the point of my expectations of a traditional Call of Duty, where it's like really crisp, tight gunplay. It feels like they wanted to go a different direction, but let me know what y'all think in the comments below. This video really didn't have a clear direction. It just needs something I needed to get off my chest and talk about. And for those of y'all stateside, you know, happy Thanksgiving. I will catch y'all in the next video.
Requesting gunship above. Single casualty. 2 hostiles down.
CIA. No muss, no fuss.
Ain't no mystery. We're just that good.